Everyone, it's Asia again, back at the WalkAway campaign. A lot of you asked me to finish my testimony, and so I figured I'm going to start where I started to realize I was conservative and not very much liberal. This has nothing to do with being Republican or Democrat. This is about being conservative or liberal, right? So I'm going to start from where it started for me. Word got out about this altercation between candidate Trump and a journalist from Fox News, Megyn Kelly. And so I started watching Megyn Kelly because I couldn't stand Trump. So something said, well, if you don't like him and you respect this woman, why don't you start watching her on Fox? And ironically, watching Miss Kelly didn't make me dislike Trump more. It made me dislike Hillary Clinton more, which is ironic considering I started watching Megyn Kelly, the Kelly File, so I can get more facts as to why I wouldn't like Trump. The irony is hilarious right now for me. She was my candidate. Hillary Clinton was my candidate. She's who I wanted to win. And then I started getting more information in regards to her the Clinton email scandals, and finding out more about what's coming off from the left, and people were asking for transparency from Donald Trump, but not requiring that from Hillary Clinton. I started seeing the double standards and the hypocrisy watching the Kelly File. I have tremendous respect for Megyn Kelly. I enjoyed her book a heck of a lot, Settle for More. It resonates with me in my core. I don't really like what's happening with her show on NBC. I don't really care for the network NBC, but she does have my respect. Watching Megyn Kelly on the Kelly File, it eventually led me into watching another woman that I already known from earlier on in her career, but on a different show, Judge Jeanine Pirro. And there was one particular opening statement that stuck out the most to me and still does to this day. I want to say it was either a week before or 2 weeks before it was election night, and in her open, she listed out all of the Clinton scandals for Bill and Hillary. There was one part in the open, and I quote, "And folks, I haven't even gotten to the 21st century yet." End quote. She listed out 6 different scandals before she hit the 21st century. And that is saying that the Clintons were an issue that were supposed to be dealt with before I was even born. This is a problem for me, because we're still dealing with the Clintons and some of the residue that they've left in our society. So starting from me, Megyn Kelly is what kind of had me shift more towards the right. I can't say I'm fully Republican, but I do know I'm not Democrat and I'm not liberal. And when you start really learning what it means to be conservative, and you were raised like I was and had a deacon for a father, and church and faith was embedded in your bones and in your body, and you can feel your Creator's, just his presence. You can feel him. You can feel him. And I was raised knowing that he was present. If you believe that, then that makes you conservative. It's not liberal. You believe in God. You believe that you should move in faith and in love, and that you should respect and tolerate those who you don't agree with. That is conservative. And I realized that, oh, snap, I'm conservative. That's not very much Democrat, is it? And then you realize the issue aren't Democrats, it's liberalism, and this idea that we have to be free from our traditions. Now, don't get me wrong. Some traditions in this country we had to get rid of. But our Judeo-Christian ethics are something that we need to keep as a society. That is what we need to keep sane and to keep from breaking out into chaos every single day. I found myself in a peculiar situation when I was 22 years old. This is around the time that 21, turning 22, excuse me. This was right after the election. I found myself entering the real world. And when I say real world, I mean when you're moving out from your parents' house and you're starting to be on your own. Now, granted, I did have support of my mother and my stepfather when we moved out, both me and my sister. But in hindsight, I realized that that decision was detrimental to me and my core values. Do you guys remember yesterday I was talking about emotions? Okay, now keep that in mind. Keep what I said yesterday in mind. When my sister and I made the choice to move out, we moved into an apartment in Jersey City with another young woman. It was a very nice apartment. Rent was crazy, but then again, what isn't these days as far as rent is concerned? And the reason why we did it wasn't because, we wanted this apartment. Wasn't because we felt like we were ready to move out. It was because I live in a house filled with so many people, and my parents were just ready to, for us to move on with our lives. And we made the decision based off of not our emotions, which is already bad, but we did it because we thought we would make our mother and our stepfather happy by moving out. Not recognizing that the woman that we were moving in with, didn't share the same values that we shared. And when I say that, I mean this woman, not to put her on blast because I do know her. She's not just a friend, she's family, so I can't go into too many details. You would think that we would be able to get along, that this would be great. When we were younger, we were very close. But the thing is, something in my gut said, don't make this choice. Some people like to call it their gut instinct. Some people like to call it intuition. I like to call it God, okay? Either my gut instinct or God. And I'm feeling like that was what it was. That's who it was. God was telling me, don't make this choice. It is not the best one. It's not the best choice to make for you. For you to make or for your sister to make. And yet we made it. I already knew that I couldn't trust this person. She's already put both me and my sister in situations where it was not just detrimental to our core values, but dangerous. Okay, this is a woman who throughout our childhood has put us in very bad situations. And that's because of the lifestyle that she leads. Now, as a grown woman, she works a full-time job, a great full-time job, brings home great pay. She was making more than me, okay, and my sister. And she's in an industry where money should be just moving, right? She sells Broadway tickets. This is my sister. But again, this woman that we moved in with, she was making a hell of a lot more money. On top of that, she was married to a man for the wrong reasons with great credit, giving her an allowance so she was able to get these credit cards and buy whatever she wanted, while at the same time being on government assistance. So the perfect person who wouldn't need assistance from our government was still on assistance because she was finding a way to game our system where she could be self-sufficient while also being a dependent. This is what she did. Mind you, she had all of these things at her disposal and she still chose to lead the nightlife. Okay? Now, those of you who understand what I mean, you know what the nightlife is. Okay? And that lifestyle makes me and my sister guilty by association. And that wasn't okay by me. And the thing is, we had family that lived upstairs from us, and we asked them to assist us in kind of keeping that world out of our household. And you know what they told me and my twin sister? Oh, I don't want to hurt her feelings. I don't want to tell her that her company has to go because, I don't want her to be mad at me. You don't want her to be mad at you. How about what she's doing downstairs is just flat out wrong? It's morally wrong, and legally, it is just unacceptable. I don't care. I don't care about her feelings. What she's doing is wrong. I'm right. She's wrong. Get this dude out of my apartment. This is what we were dealing with in that place. On top of that, she was more prone to violence than she was to a conversation. Sound familiar, people? The left get very violent. And it doesn't even have to be about politics. It can be as simple as we live together and she doesn't want to have a conversation. This is what I have to deal with. That is what I had to deal with. And I realize that when you make decisions that aren't best for yourself, you unconsciously start to self-sabotage the situation that you are in. Because I did that. I self-sabotaged that entire situation because it wasn't best for me. And I didn't know how to get out of it. I didn't. So I was making the wrong choice. Now, from the jump off, I made the wrong decision. So every decision after that was the wrong one. The life that I was leading wasn't matching what the Democrats were saying that I have to be ready to sacrifice my needs, my wants, my happiness for that of others. Now, I'm all for being sympathetic for people, and I'm all for, trying to help someone get up on their feet. But I'm over being self-sacrificial. I'm not doing that anymore. Yes, I can be Christ-like. That is my right and my privilege as Lord's creator to become Christ-like. Everybody has that right and that privilege. But you don't have to be self-sacrificial. Ayn Rand said it best. You do not have to do that to be Christ-like, to be close to your Lord, to be close to your creator. You don't have to be self-sacrificial. And I refuse to do that anymore. I will no longer abide by the ideology of the Democrats. Never again. I am liberated in my conservatism. And I am proud to say that. No, I'm not Republican. No, I'm not Democrat. And to be frank, I don't think the American public should be either. I think we should go based off our gut instinct or based on our faith and listen to the facts that are coming out of the mouths of those who are running for public office and determine which one is best for our society. Who's going to govern us the best way? And I don't want to hear that hogwash about how this is the best person because he's black or she's a woman. That is simple-minded. And we can't be making decisions based off of simplicity. This is some complex stuff. And adults should be built and raised and be prepared for that kind of choice. And if you are not ready to start making hard choices in your own life, then you are not ready to be making decisions in that ballot box. You are just not. You need to start opening your eyes like I did, okay? Because it's not just the people in the Democratic Party that you're fighting. Like, think terrorism, right? Or Sharia law. You're not just dealing with a bunch of crazy people. You are dealing with an ideology, with a certain mindset that we have to challenge, that we have to not only fight, but beat. It's the same thing with these Democrats. Their ideology is all kinds of wrong. It is detrimental to our society. And those of us who have core values, it's time for us to step up, speak out, and fight back. And I don't care if people want to continue to say that I am a racist, that I am a Nazi, a Jesus hater. The things that I have been through in the last 2.5 years of my life forced me to look at it like a movie. And like I said yesterday, I'm a movie buff. And the way I look at movies is completely different than how most people do. I analyze them. I try to find the underlining message in all of the movies that I watch, trying to find what the subliminal message is or what the point is to the film. That's what I did with my life in the last couple of years. I looked back at the choices that I made, and I had to analyze them. Why did I make that choice? How did I put myself in that position? So I know better. I used to think that I was entitled for people to take care of me, that I was entitled for me to be dependent on someone, and that's just wrong. What I'm entitled to is a good life. If I want it, I have to work for it. Just something I have to do. Another one of the lessons that my parents taught me is that if you want what you want, you gotta work smart, not hard. But the Democrats, they want you to work hard and not even prosper. That is the difference between Trump and the Democrats. If you want what you want, you gotta do it yourself. Don't be dependent on anyone. Don't be dependent on anyone. The only person you can depend on is yourself. Okay? And with the strength of your Lord and Savior, you'll get done whatever it is that you want done. Okay? I'm a young woman, young black Hispanic woman that supports Donald Trump. And since he's been president, my entrepreneurial spirit is now up. I am in the process of building a business. There's nothing that I can't do now. Nothing that I can't do, because I live in my conservatism now. And with the help of my creator, I might even be able to help a whole lot of other people realize that they can have what I have, that they can be whatever they want. But they have to stop thinking that they need to be dependent. And I know it sounds crazy coming from a young woman who works for a non-for-profit, but the reason why I was even able to come to the conclusion that I was able to come to was because the nonprofit that I work for is all about helping people better themselves, hold themselves accountable, because that is a part of this, and know that you can have whatever it is that you want as long as you want it.